The Hidden Blade. The True Purpose of Kung Fu versus the Spectacle of Combat Sports by Sifu Frank McCarthy. For centuries, Kung Fu was never meant to be a sport. It was a way of survival, a code of self-protection, honor, and quiet strength. Its purpose was not glory, not fame, not trophies or belts. It was to protect oneself, one's family, one's community, and, if necessary, one's people. In ancient China, most Kung Fu was practiced in secret. Knowledge was power, and power in the wrong hands could bring destruction. Teachers guarded their methods closely, not out of greed, but out of survival. If an enemy learned your techniques, they could use them against you. So Kung Fu was hidden, passed down only to trusted students, often behind closed doors, in dimly lit courtyards, or remote mountain temples. Kung Fu rose to the call of duty time and again, against corrupt governments, invading forces, bandits, and criminal gangs. It became the weapon of the weak against the strong, the few against the many. It wasn't just physical combat. It was social resistance, spiritual endurance, and a way of preserving identity in times of chaos. When Kung Fu reached America under the guidance of Professor Lao Bun, the founder of the Hung Sing Kwun in San Francisco, the oldest existing Kung Fu school in the United States, that philosophy remained intact. Professor Lao was known for saying, "Kung Fu is like a gun. You don't pull it out unless you plan to kill with it." He wasn't glorifying violence. He was teaching responsibility. He meant that Kung Fu is a serious tool, one never to be flaunted or misused. A true martial artist doesn't fight to prove a point. He fights only when there is no other option. In the hands of the wise, Kung Fu is restraint. In the hands of the foolish, it becomes chaos. At its core, traditional Kung Fu is about balance, the harmony between destruction and creation. The same movements that could break a man's bones can also heal the body when practiced slowly and mindfully, like Tai Chi. This dual nature, martial and medicinal, makes Kung Fu unique. You see this clearly in the old men and women practicing in the park at dawn, their movements graceful yet powerful. What they are doing is both exercise and meditation, a dialogue between breath, body, and spirit. By contrast, modern mixed martial arts, MMA, represents a different philosophy altogether. It is an arena where skill, toughness, and endurance are tested publicly for entertainment. The MMA fighter seeks recognition, to be known as the greatest, the toughest, the champion. And while the physical conditioning and courage of these athletes are undeniable, the path they walk is brutal. The goal in MMA is to win, to dominate, to entertain, to satisfy the crowd. The toll it takes is immense. Concussions, joint damage, brain trauma, broken bones, chronic pain. The martial lifespan is short, and when the spotlight fades, when the fame, the money, and the crowd's cheers are gone, the fighter is often left with only the pain, the scars, and the haunting echo of what used to be. This is the true divergence between traditional martial arts and modern combat sports. One seeks self-protection, longevity, discipline, and personal harmony. The other seeks victory, fame, and applause. Traditional Kung Fu was never about beating others. It was about mastering yourself. It was designed to preserve life, not to destroy it. Its practice built character, patience, health, and a deep respect for the power one holds. In contrast, modern fighting culture too often measures worth through blood, pain, and spectacle. A test of will turned into an industry of damage. So what happens when you can no longer fight? When the body is broken and the cheers have faded? In Kung Fu, you age into wisdom. You pass your knowledge on. You continue to train, to breathe, to live with strength and dignity. In the fight game, too many age into regret. The true martial path was never about fame. It was about freedom. The freedom to protect, to live in peace, to walk away with your head high. That is the difference between a warrior and a performer, between Kung Fu and combat sports. Kung Fu is not a show. It's a way of life.